Now, if you want a zero effort golf swing that gives you big results just like this here, then this will absolutely shock you with how easy this is, because starting your downswing just like you're seeing here will give you that ridiculously easy power, and it will also make you lag the golf club. It will fix your early release and cast and get you have a nice shaft lean. It would also keep you in your posture, fixing your early extension. So let's discuss exactly what this is. Now what this is going from wide to narrow. So wide to narrow in transition. And that, as you can see here, gives you some really good, awesome shots, nice and long, without really feeling like there's much effort. The club head speed just comes when you do this. So if I hit another one here, I'm not necessarily feeling like I'm swinging overly hard at this at all, just a normal speed, but feeling like I'm really wide at the top will naturally get me to where, as I transition down, that club is going to get closer, going to get narrower. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at a swing I did last week. One of the best swings I think I've ever done. Made a YouTube video about this last week as well, but it has the nice wide to narrow, and we're going to get into exactly in detail, analyze that swing, and then afterwards, once we've understood it, we're going to then talk about a great feel to do and drill to do for this. So guys, let's dive into this swing here. This is a really good example of a wide to narrow golf swing. This is a shot I did last week. That was from my video that I put out last week on how I gained that really good distance from one shot to the other. So let's have a look here. So many things are going to happen from here. So you can see immediately, look at that wide takeaway. So the distance from my butt end of the club to the body, wide. Awesome. So what's happening here? My swing arc is elongating. It's getting wider in the backswing. So really important to gain momentum, to get some extra speed, some easy speed. So then if we get up to the top, we can see, still look at that nice wide relationship there between club and body, and then up to the top there. This is so important. Look at the distance between my head and that club shaft. See how that club shaft is way above my head. So not above my head as in from the down line, physically on top of it. We'll talk about the do's and don'ts on the camera in a minute. But it is above as in from the front on view. It's really nice and wide. So when you're nice and wide, like we said, that elongates the arc. So of course, the arc has to get narrower in the downswing to get on top of that golf ball. And that's exactly what happens here. Look at this. So you can see, look at that club start to lag and start to whip in. Now, I am not trying to do that at all. I'm not trying to get the club narrow. Just that wide nature of that top of the backswing gets me there. Gravity does this for me. It's one of the things, I guess, one of my pet peeves with the golf swing is a lot of golfers try to physically get lag in the golf swing. And I've always been a player who can get good lag in the downswing. I've never once tried to practice for lag in my life, but I'm a good lagger of the golf club. And a lot of that is due to my width at the top of the swing. You need to get wide if you want that club to naturally lag. If you physically try to get lag, you're in a lot of problems. So you're going to have a tough time with your golf swing. Now, look, you can see here, naturally, this is a great one for your kind of throwers of the golf club, early releases. See again how naturally these angles are being maintained. Now it's shaft parallel to the ground in the downswing. This is ideal. Hands are on the right leg there in a great delivery position. I'm not throwing my angles again. Nothing here I'm actually trying to do. I'm just letting that club work with gravity from where I was at the top. Now, as we get through the golf ball, you can see how nicely my body's staying down. Again, if I'm getting narrower in the downswing, I have to stay down because the club is narrower. I have to get my body down more to get to the golf ball. And then if we see here, look at that lovely bit of shaft lean. So great compression. So we get some decent distance gains from compressing, from de-lofting the golf club as well, which so many golfers need to do. And then just a nice unwinding through into the finish. So important. Wide to narrow. Let's talk about it more in detail on camera. So like we could see there, great lag, great compression, and staying down through the golf ball. Just really via doing that one move. It's all a reactionary movement in that downswing, which is why I like this so much, because that isn't any effort to do that. So how do we actually get this into the swing now we've had a good look at it? So ultimately, this is created very early in the backswing to do this. So this is where you hear a lot of tour players talk about getting wide in that early takeaway. Really getting that club going wide away from them as far as they can. Now, because when you're wide in that early backswing and even mid backswing, that carries on up to the top. So then all you feel from there is really loose grip pressure, and that club then falls. You really don't want to feel anything with the arms, especially in that downswing there. Nice and wide early, and then really feel like those arms are just kind of like ragdolled, and that will get that club really dropping down, getting close to you, gaining that lag, getting through the golf ball nicely. So one other really important thing to note to do this correctly: do not have a tight grip pressure in the backswing. Because if you have a tight grip pressure on the backswing, so let's say scale of 1 to 10, 1 gripping it really loosely, 10 gripping it really tight, you're on a 10, which is so many golfers out there. I'd say so many golfers are more than that. If you have this really wide backswing, which is what we want, with a tight grip pressure, you are not going to hinge the wrists at all, because you're going to tense the forearm muscles far too much, and then that is going to make the wrists really struggle to hinge, to have that radial deviation that we want to hinge the wrists up. If we're not having that wrist hinge, we're not creating a lever system, so we're not going to then pick up the distance we want from this. So really light and loose grip pressure, because when we have that light and loose grip pressure, you can see already what does it do to my wrists. It loosens them up because my forearm muscles are looser, and then that's going to get you there. So if you want to naturally get some wrist hinges also, lighten up that grip pressure. Now really wide. Awesome. Okay, so what else? There is one more thing, and that is so important when getting wide in that backswing so you could get narrow in the downswing. That is, as you're taking that club back, do not go wide out here. Don't push it out away from you. Because if you try to go wide and try to physically push yourself out, which golfers try to do when they get wide, you are going to disconnect your arms away from your body. And then all you're going to do is swing up, have a massive lack of depth. And as you swing down, you're going to swing over the top because your hands are on top of you, not too much depth. So we want to swing and make sure the hands are going slightly in on that takeaway. I always like about a fist distance from the right leg, which happens from good little bit of chest rotation. And then from there, keep turning up. That keeps those hands going around you. So got to turn, because turn gets everything going around, so you won't just go straight out. So nice light and loose grip pressure, and as you're getting wider, get that rotation in the backswing. Don't push those hands dead straight out. Turn wide. So okay, let's talk about a feel / drill to get this. Before we get into the feel / drill, guys, if you want to use the exact same launch monitor you've been seeing throughout my entire video that measures absolutely everything for me, that's the FlightScope Mevo Plus. So there's a link in the description with my discount to it. So absolutely awesome. If you want to take ownership over your game, you need to know your numbers, you need to know your tendencies. So anything from club path, angle of attack, gives absolutely everything. You can get your sweet spot location, so where you struck it off the face, and that is with a FlightScope Mevo Plus. So okay, let's get into the drill / feel. So what that is, it is an exaggeration. So exaggeration, what is that? We want to really extreme what we're feeling here. So I want you to get up to the top of your swing, get a nice light and loose grip pressure, good turn up to top. Feel like you're getting as wide as possible, really pushing these hands and arms away from you as much as you can. Still trying to stay centered on that ball as you're turning and being wide. And then from there, as you start to turn down, really feel like that club drops and hits your right shoulder. Now, if you did that in the swing, normally that would not be a good shot, but again, this is an exaggeration. So many golfers just practice what they want to do. That won't do it. You need to practice extremely the other way, almost to a fault, because I can tell you what, you will not replicate that in reality. Feel isn't real. You need to create a crazy feel, which is why you see tour players doing all manner of ridiculous looking things on the range, because they're trying to create an extreme feel. So high and then down and turn. Hit that club onto your right shoulder. Again, it won't get you doing that in reality, but it will get you exaggerating. Then that's really going to get that subconscious firing up and really thinking, okay, this is what we want to do. Now, get that same feeling. And there we go. So it's a really, really good one. This is, again, why you see so many of the top players do exaggerations, because you have to feel like you're moving an absolute mile to even just move an inch. So really wide, narrow, wide, narrow, hitting your shoulder, and another one. Here we go. Awesome. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.